Should I tell the story now while the server restarts? So, you probably know the story already, but I'm still want to tell it again, as it has been a while since I told it, and since been a while since I've told any story on Minecraft. So I'm usually streaming, but this story will also happen on YouTube. So go check out my YouTube channel whenever you can. There I start. So a long time ago, in a city called Thebes, a king called Laius received a prophecy. According to the oracle, his own son would kill him and would marry his wife. And soon, his wife Jocasta indeed gave birth to a baby. And without any hesitation, the king decided to put him to death, because of course he did. The baby was brought to a faraway mountain, Citairon, and hung by a foot on a tree. That's how they apparently killed baby at the time. But fortunately for the baby, a shepherd passed by and brought the baby to King Polybus and Queen Merope, who, childless, decided to adopt it and call him Oedipus, which means swollen ankles. And since then, the child who grew into a man always had a limp on the ankle he was hung by. So the child grows well and strong, but he is one day told by a random guy that the king and queen are not his real parents. I mean, he doesn't believe it, of course, but as he grows older, he decided to see an oracle to figure out the truth. And the oracle instead repeats the prophecy that his birth father was told. He was to kill his father and marry his mother. Kind of bummed out, the young man just decides to leave everything and leave the kingdom. He doesn't want to kill his dad and marry his mom, the people he assumes are his real family. While traveling, he meets an old rich man with his caravan. He's asked to let them pass and he refuses, out of pride. And then a fight breaks out. In the end, Oedipus manages to kill everybody except for one guard who ran away. The strong Oedipus has no idea he just killed his father, King Laius. One part of the prophecy is already complete. So he arrives at the nearby city of Thebes. But the whole city is controlled by a sphinx, and the king is missing. Obviously, the king that has just been killed by Oedipus. While the king is absent, Creon, the queen's brother, has taken over ruling Thebes. The Creon has offered the hand of the queen, since he learned that his brother has died, to anyone who can get rid of the Sphinx. Sphinx the Sphinx is a mythical creature and only speaks in riddles. So Oedipus hears of this and he wants to he wants to get rid of the Sphinx. And he stops in front of him over the bones of those who failed before him. The monster asks her riddle. Which creature walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs in the evening? And after thinking about it for a little bit, Oedipus manages to find the answer, which is man. We humans crawl on all fours when we're babies, walk upright in our prime, and walk with a cane when we're old, with 3 feet. This Sphinx finally accepts to leave the city, and as Oedipus solved the riddle and got rid of the Sphinx, he is given the hand of the queen, Jocasta, that he doesn't know obviously is his own mother. So they marry, And they get along pretty well, and they have a bunch of kids that are, yeah, Antigone, Ismene, Polynices, and Eteocles. They have their own stories that are very tragic and terrible that I might actually tell another time. And eventually, one day, a terrible plague comes to Thebes. Everybody is dying and no one knows why. King Oedipus, since he's king now, sends Creon to the oracle to figure out what's going on. The oracle declares that the killer of Laius is living in Thebes and must be expelled. The king swears, after hearing this, that he'll figure out who the killer is and exile the jerk who killed Laius. And so they find a seer, Tiresias, who knows everything about everything. And Tiresias, the seer, is an old blind man who comes to the palace. And at first, he doesn't want to tell Oedipus about the truth because it is quite horrible, to be honest. And after threatening him, Tiresias finally tells the king that he is the murderer he has been looking for. At first, he doesn't believe it. But as Jocasta tries to comfort Oedipus, telling him that the king was killed by robbers at a place where three roads meet, Oedipus realizes that is exactly where he killed a random man. And as Oedipus thinks about it, a messenger shows up from Corinth to let Oedipus know that Polybus has died. And the messenger is actually the shepherd who found Oedipus in the mountain and tells him that Polybus wasn't his real father. And Jocasta, remembering the prophecy that made her abandon her son, puts it all together. She begs Oedipus not to pursue the truth any further, but he insists. He wants to know what's going on. And the survivor of the attacks finally shows up and confirms that Oedipus is the killer. And Oedipus realizes that he indeed has killed his father and married his mother. This makes him suffer a lot, but that's not enough because as Jocasta herself figured out the truth, he hung herself. And Oedipus yanks a pin from her robe and stubs out his own eyes. Creon, at the end, exiles Oedipus as he was promised, and the blind man only wanders in wilderness, with only his dedicated daughter Antigone to guide him. And that's the end of the story of Oedipus. There is a story about his children that is just as tragic and terrible, but I really wanted to tell this because I wanted to put it on my YouTube channel, and probably I'll try to edit it into me playing Minecraft and stuff. That would be actually better and easier, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.